All right, welcome to a weekend video. This is Friday. It's the 14th of March, and it is St. Patrick's weekend. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of those of fellow heritage. This is it's afternoon here. The market's not open in the US yet, but I'm going to get to it early, and we'll see how the day plays out. And if you like what I do, check out bullwaves.org, sign up, and get nightly updates on the membership page. Okay, let's get straight into it. Been an interesting week. Second video this week. This is amazing. I had promised to do that for a long time, but I think it's amazing that it actually happened. Here is euro dollar. Let's start in the FX and then move on. Euro dollar daily. The three-wave correction into wave 2 is becoming is solidifying. Let's say it's becoming less of a theory, more of a reality after the rally this week. We have the 4-hour count here. You can see a possible, let's go to the daily count. A wave 1 rally should break above the previous wave B high, possibly. We'll see how that goes. The 4-hour count here, you can see that 5-wave pattern, still developing. This could all fall apart, but for the moment, we're still traveling higher in wave 3. I'm looking at the possibility of let's say a third wave top, fourth wave correction over the next few days, probably into Monday. And if we drop back, the price should, find some sort of low in around 107 in wave 4, and then rally again in wave 5. So that will still only create 3 waves up. So we're still not fully out of the woods even with that, but so far so good. Let's see if that pattern in wave 3 can continue. This, last night, over the last couple of nights, I've been looking for this decline into wave 4. It is, yeah, we're getting there. An initial decline just held above the previous wave 4 low. We seem to be building a lower high right now, so that could be 3 waves up in wave B, and then a decline down into wave C again. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But if we do bottom somewhere around 107, 107.50 in wave 4, and then turn higher again. Oh well, at that point I'll be looking for a turn higher into wave 5 again. So that's euro dollar. This is cable. It's more or less a very similar pattern. The second wave here on the daily count is an expanded or running flat. Forgive me. Initial decline wave A, 3 waves up in wave B to a new high, and then 5 waves down in wave C, which did not break the wave A low. So in a standard flat, you would get wave C completing below the wave A final price. So, I suppose already we're a little bit on edge on this one. Okay, so the rally has been, reasonably or pretty darn impulsive. Let's put it that way. There's nothing to suggest otherwise at the moment. The initial rise off the low of wave 2 was, confounding me a little bit. And we did have a kind of a stepped function higher, but then let's say the acceleration this week does tend to push it in favor of, let's say, the bullish count. So we have a possible wave 3 of one top coming either in place or coming into place now, and then looking for a wave 4 decline, probably back towards this shelf of support here around 127 over the next, call it a week. Let's call wave 4 a week-long scenario. 3 waves down, and once we hit wave, the 127 area, we should probably look for a low and then turn higher again. So that's the outlook. We'll see how it develops. Okay, dollar yen still annoyingly still looking like a corrective decline in wave 2. Whether we have a bottom or not is another question. This pattern in wave 2, while it was quite a sharp decline, we do have a lot of overlap in it. So the fact that there's a lot of internal overlap within the pattern does suggest that it is more corrective than impulsive. And so far, that seems to be the way it's playing out. And you can see we've declined back to the 62% retracement of wave 1. So we have wave 1 top, we have a wave 2 low at 62% retracement, and now we have the beginnings of a, let's say, consolidation, or at least, well, a possible turn up, or at least a consolidation. So that's the way I'm looking at it anyway. So this wave C decline of wave 2 traced out 5 waves down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending diagonal pattern. We have a low 146.54, and this week we've been working higher. So I don't have an impulsive pattern just yet. So no matter what I say here, we still haven't confirmed this pattern, and really and truly we can't really confirm it until we get above the previous wave 4 high, and that would be 151.30. But I'm looking at the internal wave B here, so that's at call it 150.20. And if we break that, then I would be much more comfortable I would be much more certain, or much more confident. That's the word I'm looking for. Much more confident that this is actually an impulsive turn higher. So we'll see how it goes. I'm open to the idea, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, here's the Dow. This is the daily count. Now this is the alternate that I visited upon you last week, was it, or during the week? Last week. So that's the possible 3-wave correction. Wave 4 is still on the cards until we get a break of that wave 1 high. So that'll be about 40,000. Until we get a break of 40,000, we still have a correction can still be one of the options here. If we do break that 40,000, then that correction idea in wave 4 doesn't get wiped off completely, but it definitely drops significantly in probability. I must admit that the decline is impulsive. It's very impulsive in nature, and in that light, we have taken out the previous 4th wave low, and that's at 41,730, let's call it, and we are challenging the previous wave 2 low. So the previous wave 2 low comes in at about, call it 40,000. Once we do get below 40,000, that's 39,980, I think is the actual low. That's previous wave 2 low. Like I said, the 40,000 level seems to be quite important in the short term, both on the daily count, the daily level. Sorry, the daily count wait, I'm chewing my own words here. The daily count suggests the wave 1 high as an important level, which is about 40,000, which would indicate that this reversal off the top is impulsive in nature. The previous wave 2 low is also at about 40,000. So if we take that out, we've not only taken out 2 internal support levels within the previous rally, it definitely it can flip a switch in the nature of this decline and push us more into the impulsive down rather than corrective down area. If we do get that way, I'm kind of hoping it does happen, but it's definitely an important level, both psychologically and within the structure of the wave count also. So there will be support found here, I think, and that support is labeled wave 1 at the moment, or that level will finish wave 1. Now I'm not quite sure wave 1 is done yet. There's a bit of a bounce this morning in the pre-market. We shall see. We shall see pretty soon whether we get one more spike lower. I'm looking at the previous 4th wave. So this would be wave 4 of 5. 41,960. If we break above 41,960, I think that'll pretty much confirm that wave A of 2 is underway. I'm still I'm pretty confident, sticking with this 5-wave decline in wave 1, with the idea that we are going to turn up reasonably soon into wave 2. I would like to see a break of 40,000 before that happens, but I can't be the arbitrator on that. If it happens, it will really tilt the balance of favor tilts the balance in favor of the bearish decline. So we will see how that happens. We'll see how that develops in the next day or so. Okay, crude oil, or not crude oil, gold, it finally happened. We flipped to the alternate count. Now, before people get too excited on the potential here, I'm going to put a dampener on the potential here, and I'm actually going to maybe even raise the stakes on on the bearish potential here. So the previous most important low was created last November, and that at 25.35 or thereabouts, that did mark the wave A decline. And then I was looking at a B wave rally, and I was looking for a C wave decline to complete wave 4. So that would have been A, B, C, running or expanded flat correction wave 4. The fact that we've broken out to a new high pulls back this fourth wave from a point in the future to a point in the past. So now we have the definite possibility that wave 4 is done and wave 5 is now very close to completion. You can see that the pattern within wave 3 is done, wave 4 is done, and the pattern here in wave 5 is tending towards a 5-wave pattern now. And if we'll follow that logic of going to the 4-hour count here, the 5th wave is now tracing out 5 waves itself. So let's zoom that down a bit. So we've got the wave 4 low from last November. We've got wave 1 up, wave 2 down, expanded flat correction, wave 3 rally, wave 4 expanded flat again, and now wave 5. So we've got wave 1 of 5, 2 of 5, rally this weekend, wave 3 of 5. So wave 3 is coming close to the upper trend channel line again. Wave 4 will correct and hold above the wave 1 low. So let's go into the hourly count here. And wave 5 to come. You can see that wave 1 up. Corrective move in wave 2. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the way in wave 3. Let's get a 5th wave label on that. There we go. Okay, so we've got 5-wave pattern developing in wave 3, then a correction wave 4, and a rally new rally into a new high in wave 5. If we go to the 4-hour count again, the suggestion for a possible wave 5 top would be if we take the wave 4 low, and we get a Fibonacci grid. We take the wave 1 high, and we extend it. We get an initial target at 3013, which we came very close to this week. 3013 marks where wave 1 and wave 5 will reach equality. The extended target would be 3120. So that's where wave 5 will reach 162% of wave 1. The fact that we've got an extension already in wave 3 and an extension within the larger wave 5 in red already, that does lead me to believe that we won't get an extended rally in wave 5 green. Now it's on the table between 3013 and 3125. We'll find a top for wave 5 in green and wave 5 in red, and from there I think it's a plummet, to be quite honest. The previous target for the previous pattern was about 2200, 2300, in around there, and that would have completed a decline in wave 4, and then we were looking for a rally into wave 5 again. Now we're operating at 2 degrees higher, so we'll be finishing wave 3 in black here pretty soon, and we'll be heading lower in wave 4 in black. And I think in that scenario, I think we go back to the previous fourth wave low at a minimum, and that gives us 1600. So it'll be, a 50% decline, pretty much. And I'm going to leave it at that. So that's the longer term, the rest of the year, maybe into next year. That's where we'll be going in wave 4, and that's what I'll be looking for once we complete this fifth of a third wave rally. Okay, you heard it here first. Okay, here is the weekly count. Is hardly helpful. Daily count. You can see that's the wave 2, 3-wave correction, wave 2, and impulsive decline. So we've got a wave 1 and 2 of 5, and then we're heading lower into wave 3. So the 4-hour count, you can see here, there's wave 1 of 3, wave 2 of 3. So we're coming to the end of wave, soon enough, we'll come to the end of wave 1, and you can see on the hourly count how that is playing out. So we've got a wave 1, 2, wave 1 and 2, and this is the third wave extension, with wave 1, 2, 3, possible fourth wave correction here in wave 4 of 3, and then wave 5 of 3 will bring us lower again, probably back towards $63, $62, in around there. But for the last week and a half, we've been just chugging sideways. The pattern looks pretty convincing as a contracting triangle in wave 4 here at the moment. And so long as the price continues along that trajectory, I think we'll probably close this out. Maybe by tonight, but most likely by Monday evening. I'm looking at that wave C high here. Excuse me. I just had a cup of coffee. I shouldn't have had a cup of coffee before doing a video. But you can see the wave D low is close, or is done, or very close to being done. If this is wave E, we've already come up in wave A, B, and C. Should pop out about 67.30, somewhere around there. The wave C top is at 67.70, and that should hold if this triangle pattern is to hold. So over the next today and probably Monday, we should see this triangle close out and then turn lower again into wave 5 of 3. Okay, let's move on. There's the S&P. This is the decline in the S&P has been arguably more convincing than the pattern in the Dow. And even though the pattern in the Dow is quite convincing, we have sliced down through the long-term MA supports. So you can see the 200 MA has been broken decisively on the daily count. The last time we did that was back in 2022, when the initial decline broke through decisively through the 200 MA, and then came back, had a throw over above it, and then violently collapsed again. Came back, had a throw over, and violently collapsed again. So a series of, a year-long, about 9 months long, is it? Violent declines, followed by, rip-roaring rallies, but the declines were violent nonetheless. From the top in December 21 to the low in October 22, so we had that lurching sideways decline. Sideways decline. Now is looking, at least at the beginning, is looking more like that than anything we've had since then. So the market has used that 200 MA as a support the whole way up in wave C of B, and now we've sliced down through it. And there has been no answer yet, which is very interesting. I'm looking at this count a little bit different, I think, on the short-term chart. Yeah, a little bit different, but nonetheless, the larger wave count is still looking in wave 1 down. Still looking at that decline in wave 1. We have taken out the previous fourth wave low, so give me my measure there, 56.90. So the previous wave 4 low was taken out. So far, we haven't challenged that second wave low. If we broke that 53.80 level, that would be a nice feather in a cap, I think, for the longer term pattern down in wave one. I would like to see that happen as wave three completes. I really don't know whether that will happen or not, but I would like to see it. At least this week, the decline in wave three has hit the 162% extension of wave one, so that's at least a Fibonacci vote in favor of this third wave decline. The internal pattern of wave three, I think it deserves another one step lower into wave five of three, even though we have a Fibonacci target pretty much met. I would like to see a correction in wave four and then a one more step lower into wave five. We'll see whether that happens or not, and we'll deal with whatever comes our way here. But for the moment, the larger wave one in green is still it's still the preferred option here. I'd like to, break the previous 53.80 low and maybe even challenge, 50.90 again, and that was the July 24 lows. So from here, I think just gonna keep tracking this third wave while keeping an eye on 53.80 as a definite nod in favor of the larger impulsive nature of this decline. Okay, so let's move on. The daily count here is silver. The daily count. The previous pattern has not been broken here yet. You can see on the 4 we still have the possibility of wave one and wave two. Wave one down has a possible 5-wave pattern. Wave two up. While we did break the previous high, we've still not, crossed out above the upper invalidation level here at 34.88. So I'd like to see that hold. I'd like to see this 3-wave pattern hold. I'd like to see this wave two lower high complete and a wave three decline come our way. If that happens, the sooner the better, because we're way too close to the bone here for silver. So it's just kind of wait and see on that one. Go to the NASDAQ for a second. See the decline in the NASDAQ. You can still point out the very same levels within the previous rally. So the wave two low and the wave four low as, let's say, waypoints for the initial decline. I would like to see wave one here. Well, maybe wave one break below that previous wave two low. So 18, let's call it 18,300. We'll see whether that happens or not. I haven't actually filled out the hourly count on that one yet. But for the moment, we're looking impulsively to the downside. Possibly next week, a corrective lower high build in wave two. And from there, that long-term goal of moving into a bear market should become a reality. But someone has been pulling a cat out of the bag here for the last few years. We'll see whether they have any ammunition to actually turn that around again. It doesn't seem like there is, but will the back finally be broken of the inviolable bull market in the US? Well, time will tell, but I'm kind of leaning that way for sure. Okay, I think that does it. Let's move on. I usually end these sessions with, I am a professor of doom in the markets anyway. Whether you like to believe it or not, there is only doom coming for your physical life. Your spiritual self will still exist. You are a person of three parts. You have the physical part, you have the soulish part, that is your personality and your persona and your makeup, your id, your will. So that's your soulish you, or your soul. But you have your spirit also, and your spirit self is what's important in the long term. Your spirit self is what the spiritual side of humanity is what Adam and Eve destroyed. They listened to the enemy. They lost the Spirit of God. So fellowship between man and God was ended with the first man. And it took the first Adam to break the spiritual connection with God. And the last Adam, that is the Messiah, to come and reconnect man with God by paying for the sin. The sin of Adam got in the way or cut the connection for fellowship with God. The sin of Adam destroyed God, destroyed the connection with God. The righteousness of the next Adam, that is the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, his righteousness restores the fellowship with God. It's not our own righteousness. There's no way that you can work your way to heaven. There's no way that you can be good enough. We're not good enough because we are born flawed. We are born under the headship of our patriarch, Adam, the sinner. He lost the Spirit of God. We don't have the Spirit of God. We're not born with the Spirit of God. We have to be born anew, born again under the Messiah. So we have to come out from under Adam and the stain of sin on our existence. That sin has to be paid for, and we are born again under the Messiah. And that is salvation in Jesus Christ. And how do you attain salvation in Jesus Christ? You admit you're a sinner. If you don't admit you're a sinner, then you have, in your own mind, you have no need of a Savior. Once you understand you're a sinner, from a physical sense, from a heritage sense, and from our own action sense, we are sinners. You believe that Jesus came from God to pay the ultimate price, to pay for your sin. He died on the cross for you and rose from the grave on the third day. And then it's a confession. You walk out from one king to another. You leave one king, that is the king of humanity, that is Adam, the patriarch of humanity, and you walk into the eternal king, under the eternal king, that is Jesus. So you confess him as the Lord of your life. And it's explained in Romans 3, it's explained in John 1, it's explained in Romans 10. Admit, believe, and confess the Messiah as your Messiah. And then the righteousness of the Messiah is applied to you. It's not your own righteousness, it belongs to the Messiah, it's applied to you. Now, the first Adam was man himself, the created man, Adam, in the garden. The last Adam, as Paul, when he wrote to the Hebrews, the last Adam was the Messiah, who won back the Spirit of God for humanity. Adam lost it. Messiah won it back, Jesus. So he's the last Adam. And the funny thing is, the interesting thing is, the numerical value of Adam in Hebrew is 45. 45. So you have the first Adam, 45. The last Adam, Jesus, 45. And 45 times 45 is 2025. So let this be the year, 2025, where you walk out from under one Adam into the new Adam, the Messiah, Jesus. Now, we all know big things are coming this year. So set your eternity straight, and then you can deal with whatever comes in this life. Because there's so much evil coming this year. You can see it. It's raising its head. The beast is rising in the Middle East. That beast. The renewed and revived Roman Empire, that is the eastern leg, the Turkish Roman Empire is rising, and it's a beast. You can see it operating in Syria right now. and this was prophesied, the king of the north. So let's get yourself straight, get under the new Adam, under the Messiah, sins paid for, eternity sorted out, and then we can deal with whatever happens in our own lives. Okay, until next time, until tonight for members of the website, until next time, YouTube land, we'll see you on the flip side. God bless, bye-bye.